Hey everyone, I got about 36 minutes to go. I'll have to clock back in for my lunch here. I've just been walking around, just kind of relaxing a little bit, catch my breath. But I wanted to kind of do a response. Now, I did a response video to Andre Meadows' Black Nerd Comedy's first review of Riverdale, the series on CW now. And Andre has decided to do a vlog series, just like he does with Nickelodeon's Ninja Turtles. Andre has decided to do one for Riverdale. And I watched his second review I watched his review on the second episode. And, he's still kind of not over, he's still not used, and I'm sure it's the same with everybody. He's still not used to the whole Miss Grundy being a young teacher that looks like she's basically out of high school, out of college, and has the hots for Archie kind of deal. But then as he was doing his review, he talked about what the plot element was in this episode. And he noted that there were some flashbacks that took place featuring Cheryl Blossom and Jason Blossom, and how for some reason they were holding hands. Okay, that's to be expected between brother and sister, just kind of hold hands with each other if they want to. Nothing wrong with that, as some people may indicate. But then the one thing that caught him off guard was them sharing a milkshake. And Andre was like, basically had the reaction of, that doesn't add up. Because he can see a boyfriend and girlfriend sharing a milkshake. He can see girlfriends, if they go that direction, sharing a milkshake. But not brother and sister, unless brother and sister are, and he just couldn't finish it because he's still, like like he mentioned, he's still trying to, figure and get over the whole young Miss Grundy deal. So, yeah, he didn't want to go in that direction, but yet ScreenJunkies, whose video was suggested by YouTube because it was talking about the same thing, ScreenJunkies, they went there right off the bat. And what they went there about was incense. That's right, incense. Basically, it's implied from what ScreenJunkies have put out, from what the ScreenJunkies said, and from what Andre didn't want to talk about or even acknowledge just yet, is there seems to be an incestual relationship between Jason and Cheryl. And not only is, so that really is kind of a surprise, I guess, to anybody. Because if you read the comics, I guess, there's never any indication that Jason and Cheryl, or any kind of character, has an incestual relationship with their sibling. Or the parent, for that matter. So, it kind of, like I said, it kind of was a little too much for Andre, because he's like, hey, whoa, one thing at a time here. I'm still dealing with the whole Miss Grundy deal. But, there's a lot of, one thing about Riverdale, even though I have not yet watched the series, and I should, kind of to see what all the hubbub's about. One thing about Riverdale, and I'll give it this, is they really know how to get people talking. They know how to get people talking to the point that you, the viewer, along with the characters, kind of wonder exactly what's going on. It's like you don't know yourself, but yet you're trying to figure out, you're trying to theorize, you're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And even though and Andre has even theorized, hey, I think I know what's may have happened. I think I know what may be going on. He tried to put his own spin on it, his own theory on it. And when I heard about this, And Screen Junkies even tried to theorize what this is leading to. I even try, I was thinking about it myself, even though I haven't watched the series. I've been thinking to myself, what is this leading to? And this is, like I said, coming from somebody that hasn't watched the series yet, and yet it's going to make me want to, because even I'm getting curious. But let me first of all say this. True, there are a lot of references to previous Archie properties. Well, not just Archie properties, but there's also references to other previous Archie incarnations. We see that. We've heard that. But even though you have these references, I still look at the fact that this is taking place in an alternate universe. It's not the prime Archie-verse. No, it's an alternate Archie universe. Kind of like what Turtles Forever implied in that crossover movie they did for the Turtles' 25th anniversary. They implied that the Prime Turtles were the original Mirage black and white Turtles, and that every other incarnation of the Turtles has spun off from that prime creation, from that prime origin point. So my thought is, that's how we have to view Riverdale. Like, it's just a spin-off from the prime Archieverse, and Riverdale is just an alternate Archieverse where it's darker, grittier, more mysterious, more sensual, more forbidden kind of like, situations. So, you got all these, and you have all these things, all these secrets being hidden and soon to be revealed. You get a whole bunch of things that normally you wouldn't associate with Archie happening. So that's how I look at Riverdale, as an alternate version of Archie in an alternate universe. But here's the thing. Screen Junkies and Andre tried to theorize exactly what's going to be revealed, what's going to be acknowledged, and all that. And like I said, even though I haven't watched the show myself yet, I've kind of theorized what I think could happen too. It's a little bit of a stretch, but from someone that hasn't watched the series yet, but has watched other incarnations of Archie in animated form, has watched the Return to Riverdale reunion movie, and at times had read the comics, I think I have my own take on what's going on here. My own theory, if you will. And my theory is this. Everybody's implying that Cheryl and Jason have an incestual relationship, or had an incestual relationship. But I don't think that's the case. Yeah, they could have came from an abusive family, rich, spoiled, abusive family. They could have came from that. But I think there's more to it than meets the eye, because if you piece together the fact that Betty's mother is very negative about the Blossom family, it makes you wonder exactly what's going on here. Why is she so negative? Why does she want to keep her daughter almost secluded at times, right? So if you want to look at people as possible suspects in the murder of Jason Blossom in the series, you would have to rank Alice Cooper, Betty's mom, on the top of the list. You would have to. You would have to rank her up there. You'd have to rank her at the top of the list as a possible suspect. You would have to. But there's another thing too. She doesn't want to when anybody, whether it's her daughter, maybe her husband, not her husband, but her daughter, maybe a relative, a friend tries to bring up Polly Cooper, which I think is a sister of Betty's or something, she avoids it because Betty's sister apparently is in an institution. So she wants to avoid that. It's like, why are you so secretive? Why don't you ever want to talk about her, kind of deal, right? So you wonder about that, and to me, it's like you just probably found one piece of the puzzle right there. You just pieced together a piece of the. You just probably found the place for a piece of the puzzle right there. Because what if she knows something about Polly Cooper having a relationship, maybe with Jason Blossom before Cheryl came around? Think about that. And maybe the fact that Jason wanted to break it off, and Polly had become so obsessed, so clingy to Jason, she didn't want him to let him go, to the point that she probably vowed to kill him if he ever left her. So, maybe that's why the mom doesn't want to talk about him. Maybe that's why she had the sister instituted or committed, because maybe the sister was losing her mind and she was on the verge of maybe threatening to kill Jason because he had broke off with her. We don't know. Another thing as well is, so you could add 2 Coopers, the exception of Betty, for right now, because I don't think they would go there. But you can put 2 Coopers on the top of the list of suspects as maybe being the ones involved in the murder of Jason. But then, hold on for a sec. Oh, I don't want to do that. Here. Just checking my time there. Got 24 minutes. But then, let's take a look at Cheryl herself. Now, Cheryl obviously didn't kill Jason. A lot of people are implying that. It's too early to admit that. But they do admit she knows something. Now you might say, well, how does this connect to what you were talking about just moments ago? Well, we know Archie has a lot of standards. Even if they have adaptions, dark, gritty adaptions, whatever, they have standards as to how the characters can be portrayed, what can be added in, what not added in. So, who's to say in this incarnation, this alternate universe of Archie, Riverdale, who's to say Cheryl Blossom isn't related in some ways to the Coopers? Who's to say Cheryl Blossom wasn't originally Cheryl Cooper and she went and eloped with Jason Blossom and became Cheryl Blossom? Maybe they were forbidden to see each other because maybe there's a kind of like a Hatfields-McCoys kind of feud between the two families or something. And maybe, and them seeing possibly the relationship growing between Jason and Cheryl, kind of like a Romeo-Juliet kind of thing. They didn't want them to be together because they were basically, the families were against each other. Who's to say Cheryl Blossom isn't connected to the Coopers? And maybe that's why Betty's mom speaks so negative about them, because of the fact that their son lured Cheryl away from their family, and made her into a Blossom by an eloption, if you will. Who's to say that won't be revealed? Because to me, it only makes sense. So who's to say Cheryl Blossom isn't related to the Coopers somehow, but Betty doesn't know it, and maybe she won't know until later on? That's just my theory on it. That's just my theory. So, that's how I look at it. I don't think Archie Comics would allow an incestual relationship to take place, even in a dark, gritty adaptation like Riverdale. They gotta have a little bit of standards. But I do believe that they would add the twist in this incarnation of Cheryl Cooper being a lost relative of the Coopers. Like, Cheryl was originally Cheryl Cooper. She fell in love with Jason Blossom. The families forbid them from being together. They eloped. And there you go. So, and then one thing led to another. And maybe there was a plan for Jason to disappear, and then maybe for them to run off together or something. And there you go. Just saying. So who's to say that won't be revealed? I think it will be, because it makes a lot of sense. And then you take a look at Miss Grundy. I know, Andre, if you watch this, Andre, I know you're not over the whole Miss Grundy being young deal, and neither is anybody else. It's still a shock. But a part of me thinks that that's not really Miss Grundy. Because like I said about the whole Cheryl being related to the Cooper's deal in some way, what if in this universe the Miss Grundy that's young, is young and flirtatious and has the hots for Archie and maybe any other male around her, young male that is, who's to say she's not maybe a niece or a daughter of the real Miss Grundy? Like maybe the real Miss Grundy is either in a comatose state, like maybe she's in a coma, or maybe she's off, off fighting, either she's off serving her country in a war or something, we don't know. Or what is she, basically, this is what I'm thinking. This Miss Grundy is not the real Miss Grundy. It could either be a niece or a daughter. So with that, one of those possibilities, it would make sense, because then you could have the whole falsified documentation deal brought in. Like she falsified her, like maybe this Miss Grundy this girl found someone to falsify her documentation to make her be Miss Grundy, and nobody really knows, to make her be the Miss Grundy that everybody thought was going to be the music teacher, and yet in reality she might be just the niece or the daughter of Miss Grundy. Well, the real Miss Grundy, like I was saying, is either in the hospital, maybe in a coma, or she's off serving her country as part of the armed forces, or she's out taking care of family, like maybe she's taking care of a relative or something, or maybe she's lost maybe she's lost somewhere, we don't know. Or maybe this daughter or niece did something to the real Miss Grundy, like maybe has kept her prisoner somewhere, locked up, we don't know. But something tells me that as the series goes on and the series progresses, we're going to find out that Miss Grundy is not who she seems she is, and that she's, like I said, she's either the niece or the daughter of the real Miss Grundy, and that in the end what she did was falsify her documentation so that she could pass as a teacher, or she could pass as the Miss Grundy they thought they were going to get as a high school music teacher, so she can be around boys like Archie and other guys she found attractive that she could flirt with and get it on with. So that's my theory. That this is not the real Miss Grundy, that this is actually probably a daughter or a niece of Miss Grundy, maybe even a younger sister for all we know, but mostly a daughter or a niece that has taken her place, and that the real Miss Grundy is going to be revealed to either be, like I said, either in a comatose state in the hospital. She's either going to be revealed to be off, fighting in a war with the armed forces. She's going to be off, on some kind of maybe some journey, maybe some humanitarian, maybe some ambassador, maybe some kind of ambassador's trip or whatever. Maybe she's lost somewhere along with some other teachers, who knows? But my theory is this is not the real Miss Grundy. I think the real Miss Grundy is going to be revealed, is going to show up later on, and it's going to be revealed that this Miss Grundy, like I said, is either a daughter or a niece. And I think that makes more sense, don't you? Because, why would Archie allow for a young Miss Grundy? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. To me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. So to me, my theories are like this. And I know this video has gone over 20 minutes. I do apologize. But my theory is this. One, Cheryl Blossom is related to the Cooper family somehow. She may have been a Cooper in the past. And she fell in love with Jason. They eloped. And then they plan to run away so they can get away from the feud between both families. And then something happened to Jason, because he was supposed to come back maybe to get Cheryl, and they were supposed to run off, you know, to the happily ever after. That's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm theorizing. And Miss Grundy, I believe, is not the real Miss Grundy, but I believe is a relative of hers. Either it's her daughter or her niece, or maybe even her granddaughter, for that matter, that's posing as her, so she can be around guys like Archie and Reggie and all that, and, you know, flirt with them and get it on with them, if you will, by falsifying her documentation to make people think she's the real Miss Grundy. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I feel, and so I'm thinking. That's what I'm theorizing. And I think they're the best shots. They're the more realistic theories when it comes to this series. So that's what I feel is going on. And this is coming again, like I said, from someone that hasn't even watched the series yet. I plan to at least get to that point to watch it. But again, this is coming from somebody that has yet to watch the series. So, but those are my theories on it. Because when you think about it, it makes more sense, because even though this is on the CW and the CW has some say in what gets added and what gets, you know, put in there and all that, I think Archie Comics has enough sense to say, yeah, we'll do that, but we don't want to go with these directions though. We're not in favor of incestual relationships. We're not really in favor of a young Miss Grundy. However, if we did this, put a twist on why these relationships seem that way, or why characters seem like that, it might work better, and people will tune in for more. So that's what I feel is going on with the Archie series so far, with the Riverdale series. And again, coming from someone that hasn't seen it yet, and I probably will, I think I put up a good theory right there, because it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. So let me know what you guys think though down below. Comment if you like. Andre, I'd like to hear from you. Screen Junkies, I'd like to hear from you guys what your responses are. Do you think my theories make sense? And what are your theories? Let me know down below, and I'll talk to you later.